I'm often asked what is the best car for under £10,000, and I have no idea what best means, but in this video I'm going to talk to you about 10 cars I think are pretty good for under that price range. If you want to see the same video again at under £5,000 instead, hit the like button. 1,000 likes, I'll make that video. Do hit subscribe as well for 2 videos every single week, and without further ado, let's get straight into it. Let's get started with a car I reviewed a couple of years ago, the Toyota GT86, which offers a Mazda MX-5 style go-karty feel but in a coupe body shell. It comes with a 2-litre Boxer 4 engine producing 197 brake horsepower, which will get to 60 in 7.4 seconds, relatively slow, but like the MX-5, speed isn't the focal point of this car. It was developed alongside the BRZ, hence the Boxer engine as opposed to something more typically Toyota, and though it remains pretty reliable, there have been complaints about its lack of power. But the reason why this is on the list instead of an MX-5 is that the MX-5 is the obvious choice for a car in this category, and I'm saving it for videos at different price ranges, so do hit the like button. Having driven one, they do handle very well, and they give anyone a great first sports car experience which remains safe, cheap to insure and run, and altogether a great package. These run you around £8,500 at the bottom end, and for 10k you'll get a 2013 model with 90k on it. It would be wrong to talk about the best cars for any reasonable price range without including a Golf, given it's one of the most popular cars ever, and the GTI has been one of the key badges in the hot hatch world. The Mk6 GTI kind of went a little bit under the radar with its 2-litre turbocharged inline-4 engine, which makes 207 brake horsepower, taking it to 60 in 6.7 seconds. The Mk6 offers really great value for money. Where the Mk4 was widely renowned to be a failure, the Mk5 revived the GTI, meaning it's the one that people generally think of. Then the Mk6 sits on the same platform and is in many ways just a facelift, but honestly the performance and features aren't that dissimilar to the well-loved Mk7, so criticisms complaining about the Mk6 not being revolutionary when compared to the Mk5 aren't that well founded. £4,000 is the minimum you'll find these listed for, and 10k is enough to get a nice 2009 model with 60k on it. In general, the problems are also well known with these. The timing chain and tensioners should be replaced on schedule, and carbon buildup is known. I wanted to get a classic into this list, and the Mercedes SL500 from the R129 generation is absolutely the right car, with its 5-litre V8 engine which puts out 320 brake horsepower, taking it to 60 in 6.3 seconds. Not bad for a car that appeared in the late 80s. At the time, the previous generation R107, now a certified classic, was becoming a bit dated, and the hallowed SL class needed to be updated to more modern, boxy 80s stylings, with an eye on the more curvaceous 90s cars that were on their way, which led to this car. It came during a time where Mercedes were known for bringing maximum quality to their cars, so while there are some known rust issues with these, they aren't as bad as some of the cars that arrived in the mid to late 90s, which is amazing given how good these look and how well they operate for their main purpose, being amazing Grand Tourers. These are listed anywhere from around £5,000 for a project car, and £10,000 will be enough for a running 1993 model with high mileage. They are classics though, so do treat them as such. I think the Mazda3 MPS is one of the most underrated hot hatches on the market, and for a sensible hot hatch enjoyer, it's an excellent car. It comes with a 2.3-litre turbocharged inline-4 engine, which makes 256 brake horsepower and will do 0 to 60 in 5.9 seconds. It came with 2 generations, and both are possible to get within our price range to differing degrees, but ultimately they are quite similar, just with some aesthetic and performance related changes like the modifications to the gearbox, LSD and cooling system. For the money though, in my head you're getting a car that has great practicality, being a 5-door hatch, great performance as I've mentioned, cheap running costs, and of course something a little bit different. These start at around £5,000, and double that gets you a 2009 model with 60k on the clock. They're pretty reliable, with timing chain rattle being the only major issue. Outside of that, owners only really complain about cheap interiors and turbo failures, but the failures can be mitigated with good maintenance. The Jaguar XK is such a great offering for the money. It's not as aggressive as the XKR or XKRS, but it still gets a 4.2-litre V8 engine, putting out 300 brake horsepower, taking it to 60 in 5.9 seconds, matching the Mazda. This is not a rare or special car at all, given almost 30,000 were made between 2005 and 2014 across all model types, but it remains an amazingly good looking car for the money, helped by the fact that it's an Ian Callum design, someone who will go down in history as one of the greatest car designers. It comes as both a coupe and convertible, and both look good in their own right. Given it's a Grand Tourer, the coupe in particular is also relatively useful for longer journeys with slightly more storage space. It's a spiritual successor to the incredible E-Type Jag, but still has its own stylings, and I personally think this is a car that will be looked on favourably in the future. To get into one of these, you'll need to spend around £6,500 the bottom end, and 10 grand gets you a 2006 example with 70k on it. Electrical issues are key on these, and aircon can perish too. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you are, then as a quick reminder, do hit the like button, 1,000 likes to make this same view again at under £5,000 instead. And let me know in the comments down below, what is the best car for under 10 grand? I'd love to hear your opinions, whether it's one of these ones in this video or something completely different. It's no secret that I'm a big fan of an Impreza, and the pre-Hawkeye WRXs are some of the best value for money out there for our 10k price range, thanks to their more reliable 2-litre turbocharged Boxster 4 engines, which make 221 brake horsepower, taking them to 60 in 5.7 seconds. This icon from the rallying world isn't as aggressive as the WRX STI, but from a value for money point of view, these are incredible, given they start at 3k for an estate, and 10k gets you a 2003 model with 50k on it. This second generation is the one most associated with rallying, with legends like Petter Solberg and Richard Burns in particular being known for taking them to great success. The road-going versions are also great cars for modifications and give you access to an age-old debate between Evos and Scoobies. They are getting older and the interiors are quite dated, but I definitely think one day the best examples will be cherished classics. Next up, we have a car that in my opinion is also destined for at least some kind of classic status in the future, the Nissan 350Z, or the 5th generation Z car from the long Nissan lineage of Z sports cars. These come with a 3.5-litre V6 engine, which makes 295 brake horsepower, which will get them to 60 in 5.6 seconds. This car is ideal for so many different types of people. Do you like aesthetic modifications on a car? This is a perfect canvas. Do you like drifting? It's a popular cheap drift car. Do you like track driving? Mods are all there for you to get this thing to go fast on track. Do you want to own just a nice Japanese sports car? Again, within our price range you'll find nice untouched examples that offer you reasonable sporty luxury, but also more importantly a great and fun sounding package. To get into one of these you need to spend 4k at the bottom end, and 10k gets you a 2008 example with 60k on it. Synchro wear, oil burning, drive shaft clicking, worn clutches and leaking exhausts are the key problems I found. On to the top 3 now, and in third we have the Porsche Boxster 987S, and to be honest the non-S as well. Reason being, the engine in the non-S is known to be slightly more bulletproof than the S's 3.4-litre flat 6, which makes 290 brake horsepower, taking it to 60 in 5.2 seconds. This is the second generation Boxster, and though the 986 is the special one, it did have RMS, IMS and bore scoring issues to be aware of. Much of this has been resolved or will have been resolved with the 987. It's designed with the Carrera GT in mind, and it offers amazing Porsche handling with an open top feel and typically Porsche quality. Honestly, I know a few owners who rave about these being more fun to drive than 911s. When you consider the potential future classic status of these, you are laughing. An S will run you around £7,500 at the bottom end, and 10k gets you a 2008 example with 70,000 miles on the clock. Just missing out on the top spot we have the incredibly rapid BMW M135i, which comes with a 3-litre turbocharged inline-6 engine, putting out 315 brake horsepower, taking it to 60 in 4.9 seconds. This came with the second generation 1 Series and was the first of 2 high-performance models. These aren't quite M cars, but they're not far from it, often called M Lights. The interiors are nice and sporty, the exteriors are aggressive looking and benefit from the available M performance parts, and they are probably the next best thing in the battle with the A45 AMG for hyper hatch dominance. One thing I'd say though, if you want true hot hatch feeling, the manuals on these are quite rare, with just 1 in 5 built as a manual. These are actually great value for money though, considering the performance, starting at £7,000, with 10k getting a 2013 model with 100k on it. They're generally decently reliable too, with gearbox problems known to be whining in 2nd and 4th gear, which can be quite expensive to fix. Taking the well-deserved top spot in this video is the Audi S5, thanks to its 4.2-litre V8 engine, which makes 328 brake horsepower, the most on this list, which you get to 60 in 4.9 seconds, joint quickest alongside the BMW. The A5 is one of the most beautiful modern designs on any Audi, as a 2-door coupe built to challenge the 3 Series, and the S5 is effectively a 335i competitor. It won a bunch of design awards for its troubles, and that 4.2-litre V8 is known to be very reliable as an Audi engine, with examples lasting well over 180,000 miles without major work done, which is a massive positive for these. The interiors too are minimalist and comfortable, and the car in my opinion works perfectly as a fast, useful and good looking daily driver, where the RS5 is that bit more aggressive. These start at around £5,000, and double that gets you a 2008 example with 70k on the clock. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you then do hit the like button, as I said, 1,000 likes, I'll make the same video again out of £5,000 instead. Do hit subscribe as well for 2 videos every single week. Mass thanks to the page for their support, and to you guys as well for watching. And if you want to watch another video on some cheap luxury cars, then click up here and subscribe down here.